Hey, this is Jamey with Stonemeyer Games, and today I'm going to talk about my favorite mechanisms, plural, in Khora, Rise of an Empire. My latest format for these videos is to pick one mechanism and really focus on it, but I really like a lot of mechanisms in Khora, so I'm going to talk about several things here today. In really no particular order, one element of Khora that I really like are the asymmetric powers. There are these asymmetric people that you are playing as that insert into your player mat. The dual player mats aren't really necessary in my opinion, but they are nice, and it feels nice to slot tiles into other tiles, and they slot right in there, and they give you some abilities that you can unlock over the course of the game. You start at the bottom, and you can unlock going up over the course of the game. Nice feeling of progression there. The second element of Core that I really like is the track implementation. This came very close to being just my sole favorite mechanism, but I just think it's a well-done track implementation. So you start with tokens at the bottom of each of these tracks, and each round you get at least one opportunity. You definitely get one opportunity in this phase of the game, this phase of each round, to pay the cost shown here and move one of your tokens up into that layer. And along the way, if you cross over a bonus, you gain that bonus. So there's a sense of progression where you're improving something that will help you over the course of the game, but oftentimes you're also getting a one-time benefit that feels good, that is good at different points in the game, especially near the top of the tracks where you're like, okay, I don't have many rounds left in the game, but that one-time benefit might be really helpful right now. The escalating costs are really nice, and this is one area where the dual layered player mats are actually pretty helpful. So I really like that track system in Khora. The core action system in Khora is also really good. You get these 7 identical tiles, or the tiles themselves aren't identical, but each player has the same 7 tiles, numbered from 0 to 6. And you roll at the beginning of the game, and for most of the game, you're rolling 2 dice, and then secretly you are pairing 1 die with one of these tiles that's equal to or less than the number that you rolled. There's also ways that you can manipulate the dice to get a higher number, because the tiles generally get better the higher number they are. And then you reveal the tiles that you're playing with to show which actions you're using that round. So it's the simultaneous thing that you're doing along with other players and doing it in secret. Now, the one thing I would say here is I don't know if the game needed to make this a secret decision. I played completely open-handed. It did not seem to impact play at all in the game, because there's really only one major point of player interaction. There are a few other things that can emerge from different cards that come up, but over the course of the game, military/exploration is the only main element where you really need to, where you might take something that another player wants at that time. So I think the tile implementation is nice, but I don't think it needed to be secret. I just played with all of them face up over the course of the game, and I would just simply place my dice on the tile when selecting it. I don't know if the designers ended up watching this video. Maybe they had something else in mind. Maybe there's an expansion in mind that they're thinking might add to the secrecy element of this, but I just didn't use it, and it turned out perfectly fine. But still, at its core, I like the core action selection system here, that I'm selecting actions based on the dice that I'm rolling. It adds a little variation, a little choice, a little meaning to the idea of mitigating those dice rolls with your citizen resource. So I really like that. Also, over the course of the round, you have these phases. You have an event announcement, which I'll get to in a second. You'll have tax. You'll roll the dice. You'll select those actions. You'll activate those actions. You'll move up one of these tracks. And all of those things, except for the one element of military, happen simultaneously. And so the game flows really well. We played a 4-player game last night in a little over an hour. The box says 75 minutes. That seems about right for a non-learning game. And the whole time you were engaged, because you were doing things at the same time as the other players. I really like that simultaneous nature of the game. The 2 last things I wanted to mention. One is how military works. It's a subtle, tiny thing in the game, in terms of the mechanism itself. Very streamlined, but I really like how it works. Basically, you have this military track here. What do they call it? Troops. You have these troops. And you can move up. There's a certain action where, and cards as well, where you can move up on this track. And if you take the military action, or explorer action, whatever it's called, you can choose one. This area of the board is populated with tokens. You can choose one of the tokens where you have at least that much military. For example, this one says you need 4 troops to go here to attack this place. And so you need 4 troops. That's the requirement to actually choose this token. And you lose 2 of those troops. And that's the subtle thing that I really like. It's completely deterministic. You know when you're going to this location that you need 4 troops and you are going to lose 2 of them. But this creates a really nice cost-benefit system here, because you could get a bunch of troops and go after a something that costs, say this one, it costs 8 troops to go there, but you're going to lose 7 of them. So you'll go down on the troop track by 7. But in addition to getting this token, which is handy, it's good for endgame scoring, you're also going to gain 3 coins, which are highly valuable in the game, and 3 victory points. So it's a really nice cost-benefit analysis of, do I go after the less valuable tokens that are easier, that'll help me lose fewer troops, or the more valuable ones where where I need more troops, I'm going to lose some of them, but I get more stuff and better stuff. Really, really like that system here. The last thing I want to mention real quick is the event system. It's a very streamlined event system. At the beginning of each round, you reveal 1 random event card, and at the end of the round, you activate that event. This is a great event system. This isn't the style of event system where you reveal an event and everyone has to deal with it right away. This is more the Orleans style event system where you see the event and then you have to deal with it at the end of the round. For example, this one says the player with the highest military level or troop level can pay 2 fewer coins to move up 1 level on a track of their choice. So many of these are designed like this. They're designed to make you pay attention to other players and give you something in relation to other players. And they often give you a good thing. This is a good thing if you pull this off. It only applies to 1 player, but it gives players a sense of competition and gives you a good thing if you pull it off. There are a few bad things. There was one called Drought where you just lost something, but they weren't that bad. They weren't that bad when the bad things happened. And again, you can plan ahead for them. If something says at the end of this round, lose 2 coins, then you can, over the course of the round, you can make sure you spend all your money so you don't have 2 coins to lose, things like that. So I really like this style of event system. Overall, I really enjoyed Khora. It's probably going to be on my list of top 10 games of the year, and I would love to hear your thoughts on it. If you have favorite mechanisms in the game or any of these mechanisms remind you of another game that you've played, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks.